All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live today. We
Wait.
got Mass Productions. We got our wonderful guests coming straight from Canada, the land of ice hockey. Okay. Championships. Okay. Even though we lost a few times, I know we won a few times over here in Finland, at least. My boy from Sweden. So we're not even going to ask him no questions about ice hockey. We don't really care. You know what I'm saying?
No, come on.
And, just out of curiosity, do you follow any ice hockey in Canada? Is it as common as we think it is over there? Because all the memes we have in Finland about ice hockey makes it seem like it's really, y'all really passionate about it. Is that the case?
Yeah, I think our team goes hard in Canada, but I don't follow. I only follow the basketball team, to be honest. So,
Okay.
but I know
Okay.
our
Right,
hockey
right.
team. I know our hockey team rings bells in the world. So that's a good
Yeah.
thing. Probably even better than
So guys,
Helsinki. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I've never heard
anyways,
of
we wanna.
Helsinki ice coffee.
Oh, sorry.
Ice coffee, ice hockey. Never heard of
we
ice
got
coffee.
we got dope ass ice coffee here too. So I
Oh, you
mean,
guys got ice
if
coffee, so it must be a
we got ice,
combination. Yeah.
I'm telling you, anything ice related, we got this on lockdown, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody in Finland know this. Even Swedish people know this. They will never admit it. Even when they lose the championships, that's okay though. All love to all my Swedish people. Ain't nothing personal. I'm just saying. I gotta represent my people. See, I got what they're wearing shirt and everything.
Helsinki
I
go
can
You know,
see
hard.
that.
Yeah.
I don't even know why you put that shirt on today. But anyways, guys, hey, welcome. We just went right into this.
yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Mass Production. We have a very special guest today. We got Sagal Hussein. Sagal Hussein from born and raised in Canada. Welcome. Sagal has battled 8 years of stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. Hodgkin's lymphoma is a cancer that develops in the lymphatic system, inshallah. Sagal will talk about her journey through this time, and inshallah, we will go through everything, inshallah, and we hope to give as much, appropriate questions, and inshallah, and that you guys hopefully get inspired by her story.
Absolutely.
Bismillah. Don't forget about sharing. Don't forget about subscribing and following us, inshallah, and all.
It's very important that everybody listening to this, ladies and gentlemen, you see the camera? I'm right here, bro.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Make sure you hit that subscribe. One button, boom, done, over. So we can basically keep providing this good stuff for all of
Nah,
y'all and make sure that
exactly.
y'all can benefit from the production that we out here on Mass Productions Unrestricted trying to provide. So make sure you hit that like, share, subscribe. Let's go. Boom.
Mo, every time you talk like you're about to rap or something.
Man, I might. It's a little rap thing. I'm
Mashallah.
fasting though, so not too crazy.
Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, like, comment.
Inshallah. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
So, Sagal, welcome.
Welcome, you guys. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you guys for that beautiful introduction. Accept the
Sagal
love
is
as well.
actually tuning in from Dubai.
Yep.
International.
So if my connection is bad, just blame it on the Dubai government. Don't blame it on the Canadian government.
Yeah.
For sure.
That is the only country that doesn't you cannot. Person goes to Dubai, they have to download VPNs because WhatsApp is not working, Messenger is not working, nothing. You cannot reach people unless you just do the voicemails. But
voice note.
I actually had no idea WhatsApp didn't work in Dubai.
No, it works, but you can't call. That's the thing.
Okay.
Can call if you download VPN. But back in the day, VPN used to be free. So a lot of people didn't know about VPN, but now Somali the way they download it, but now they charge money for it. So, Somali people, they're not going to pay $1 for no VPN. They rather all day voice call.
Yeah. Yo, grind it out here. How's the weather in Dubai anyway? Is it good?
Well, if I tell you, I don't even know what the weather feels like because I just came in last night, came to the hotel, and went to sleep. I took some sleeping pills on the plane that had me sleeping from the plane to the hotel to this morning. So I was gone. My mom said you were gone. I don't know what you were on. So
okay. I hope it was at least good dreams and good vibes and all around.
I don't know. Every time I was waking up, there was a sandwich next to me on the plane. I'd be like, "What is this?"
Yo,
Really
I want
funny.
some of them I want some of them sleeping pills right there. I would love to always wake up with a sandwich next to me too. So you know what I mean. If you,
I did
if
not
you could
even eat
send,
it. Each time I did not eat it. I kept going back to sleep. I only woke up when they said it's touching down. So I was like, okay. And
Oh
that's like a
yeah. You know
12-hour
the good.
flight. Yeah.
I
mm-hmm.
like that feeling, by the way. When I fly, and when I wake up, when it's about to land,
Yeah.
it's like I like that instead of being up during the whole flight. I remember I
Yeah.
went from Istanbul to Hamar.
Mm.
I passed out, and then all I knew was like it was about to go down, and I went and looked out, and I saw Mogadishu right there. I was like,
Wow.
yes, man.
Wow.
Yeah, like you're
Anyway,
finally there. Yeah.
yeah.
Mashallah.
Second,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about your story. Where did everything begin? Where did you grow up? Tell Tell us a
So
little
I
bit about yourself, inshallah.
so I grew up in Canada.
Mm,
I was born in Ottawa. So
mm.
Ottawa's the capital. I was raised in Toronto. Um, Let me tell you a little bit of my story. So 2010, I went to Somalia. So I was just there doing some work, some volunteer work, worked with some
Okay.
NGOs, and then
Okay.
around
What
2002,
type of
yeah,
What type of
w
work were you doing? The
yeah.
voluntary, like
I was
was it
working.
giving them food? Was it humanitarian in other ways? How could you let us know a little bit about that?
Yeah, I was doing more humanitarian work voluntarily in the beginning, just to get my face known and my name known, and just to help
Yeah,
MashaAllah.
people. So we used to just help
yeah,
giving out like ration from UNICEF food and stuff to
right.
IDP camps and everything. And then once
Great.
my face got
Mm.
known, worked with the Ministry of Health alongside with Save the Children.
Wow.
So while I was there
MashaAllah.
working for a while, I went to China.
Okay.
Um,
Wow.
don't ask me why I went to China. I tried to go learn some Mandarin because my dad said
Okay.
it's going to be the first language in the world. So when I went to
Okay.
China, I was there for like maybe like 4 months, 5 months when I discovered like a lump on my collarbone. So when I
Okay.
discovered the lump, I asked my roommates, like, what is this? Like, what's going on? Like, what's this lump? Like, it feels weird. And they're like, oh my
Mm.
God, you need to go to the doctor. So then I went to this doctor at this university in Wuhan
Okay.
Dashui.
Whoa.
And when I went there, the doctor there was smoking a cigarette. While he's smoking a
Oh
cigarette,
my God.
he's touching me with the other hand. He's speaking Chinese and saying to the Somali guy that I'm with that understands Chinese, "Oh, this is probably tuberculosis that goes in the glands. Let her get a biopsy." So I said, "I really."
Wait a minute. It was
Wait,
a
wait.
private. Well, like, was it a private
No, it
hospital
was like
or?
a university hospital doctor. Until now, I
Wow.
go like, "How is there a doctor smoking, trying to tell me what I have?" So
Uh,
Wow.
after,
Okay.
yeah,
yeah, just real quick. Ain't it crazy? Like you went to Wuhan.
Mm.
yeah,
Like Wuhan has been messing up, man. I don't know what's happening in Wuhan because we got the current pandemic started from there. We got your doctor over there is messing up.
yeah.
Yo, what's up in the water over there, man?
Yeah,
I don't
but
know. I
I
don't
mean,
know what's in the
Wuhan is
water there. Yeah.
Wuhan is a city of like a lot of students go to Wuhan for
Hmm.
studying. Like
Yep.
so, it's a
It's an
very
international place. Is it well
It
known
is. It's
for
well
medical?
known. They have laboratories, like they have
Shit.
research departments. Like they have
They
their
have a
thing
big
there
medical
for.
school. Yeah, they have a lot of
Yeah.
international students there. I was surprised
Mm.
of how many Somalis were there and how many other international
Wow.
students were there when I went there.
Okay.
But
Wow.
yeah. So that doctor said that, and I just said, okay, I think it's my time to go back to Canada because there's no way a guy smoking a cigarette is gonna tell me what I have. So
Right.
Mm.
I flew back to Canada around like almost the end of 2012. I went to the doctors there. They weren't really telling me anything. And then finally, my family's just like, just come back to Somalia. So
Mm.
I went to Somalia. And when I was there for a little bit, another lump came right here. So
Bismillah.
when I seen the other lump, I'm like, okay, this is probably, Somali that they say kumun. So I
Yes.
don't know, maybe, what is that, tonsils in English? Kumun?
Like the Yeah,
Like right
I
here.
think so. I'm not sure in English, but yeah, this is the
Uh,
Dokumen, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I just said,
Yes.
oh,
Yeah.
maybe it's kumun. So I started taking kumun pills. Me being in
Yeah.
Somalia for a while, I'm so used to walking in the pharmacy telling them what I want. They just give it to me. So
Which area
yeah.
in Somalia were you
Yeah.
in at that time then?
I was in Qardo. Have you guys heard
Qarda.
of
Okay.
Qardo?
Okay. You were in
Yeah, I
Qarda.
was
Yeah.
in
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's in Puntland area, if I'm not wrong.
Puntland. Yep.
Yes.
It's in Puntland. Shout out to Khardo.
Naam.
Yeah.
Shout out to yeah.
For all of y'all listening.
Yeah, for all y'all listening.
Yes,
So
sir.
I got some pills. I thought it was gonna go down. It didn't go down. Allah Haristo. I went to some doctor who just recently died, and he did some checking and stuff with me, and he's like, "Oh, this might be tuberculosis in the glands." So that's the second time I heard it. So he's like, "It's
Okay.
either tuberculosis in the glands, or you need to go back to Canada." So that time I'm like, I'm not going back to no Canada. I love Somalia. I want to work, I want to still do my humanitarian. I was really passionate about helping our people that time,
Right.
So any way
Mashallah.
of staying, I wanted to just stay, So
Yeah.
when he
Right.
said that, I started taking tuberculosis pills. Long story short, my neck went from this size to the point that you could see it in my hijab when I was working, how big my neck got. Then long story short, my mom just like, listen, you're not going back to Canada by yourself. We're going back together. We need to get this checked. I went back to Canada. They did a biopsy where they took a piece of my tissue from the neck to go check it, just to check out number one is cancer. They said negative. Then they take it to a culture to see if it grows and if it becomes like tuberculosis. I waited 3 months. They said negative. So I'm just like, okay, what's wrong with you? Every doctor is telling you negative, and the first thing they like to rule out is cancer. After
Right.
that, after a while of going through doctors, right before I left Somalia, sorry, I forgot to add a part. I got hired for some job called Danish Demining Group.
Okay.
So
What do they do?
they do with Mina Baris, like they look for like
Mines
we did more like community and police strengthening because Khardo doesn't have a lot of that stuff. Maybe more in Hamar
okay.
you can find that.
Yes.
Right.
So we were doing more of community and police strengthening, and if you have an AK-47, how to put a lock on it. So if you're about to shoot someone, you
Dang.
think about it before you shoot. So we were trying to introduce something like that to the
So
community.
wait. So were you teaching people how to lock and load and stuff like that? Do
No,
you
no, no,
learn
no,
that in school
no,
in
no,
Canada or
no, no.
like
I'm not trying to
using
get
gangster
arrested
like
in
that
Canada
or?
right now. I wasn't doing that stuff. No,
No,
I
that's
was
cool. It's
more
cool. I
talking.
mean,
Yeah.
oh,
No,
okay.
we
I
were
was
doing that.
like,
We
I
were
don't know if
doing.
you got military training. I don't know. I don't know. Like maybe in Canada everybody gets it because in Finland when you turn 18, it's compulsory for you to go to the military at least for the guys. So some girls go. They don't necessarily have to, but some do. So I don't know if it's the same in Canada. Not trying to set you up. I'm just saying maybe you have some military background. I don't know.
No, I was just
So
joking.
maybe you
No.
went there.
He's. I think it's or basically an organization that they develop the police enforcement, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, no, we were
And
trying to like strengthen just the relationship between the
the relationship.
community
Okay.
police, and we were
And
trying to
Okay.
introduce that lock, but we didn't bring the lock in. I guess other people were showing them how the lock works and everything, just to see how the community would react, to
okay.
these type of
Right.
locks, and how it would be safe for the community, because some people just react out of hanakh, out of anger
صحيح.
quickly,
Yeah.
and they already have the gun in their hand and it's already too late, So now they're
Right.
trying to introduce a way of like, let's lock the AK. So when you're mad, you're still thinking about it. Like all that time you're about to do something, you're thinking about it rather than just, starting
Black.
it already and the
Absolutely.
end of that person's life or whatever happens, God forbid.
Mm.
So it's more
Right.
like that.
Okay. All right.
Long story short, I went back to Canada. They did those searching. They couldn't know what was wrong with me. Then my family again in Somalia said, okay, khoftan ilba kudai. Their favorite thing, like evil
Oh,
eye
yeah.
when she was
With evil
working.
eye.
Yeah, because right when I worked, I started getting even more sick. So they're like, oh, it's
Okay.
evil eye. She needs to come back to Somalia. They convinced my dad. My dad's like, okay, bring her back to Somalia. I did Quran Sar there. But after a while, I was there for it just more, maybe like another 2 months. I was slowly deteriorating. I was losing weight. The symptoms were coming in. Because cancer is a
Okay.
Right.
creeper. It's a creeper. It's a
Okay.
slow creeper. It doesn't come on too fast. Plus, the cancer I had wasn't in the beginning a lot of symptoms. It was just the lump, this lump, then another lump, then another lump. I just kept getting lumps. And then I
Okay.
guess I didn't know
Yeah.
there was more lumps coming internally, you know, but that's later on when I'm finding out when it's at stage 4. So I went there for Kransa. Yeah.
Just a sec. I'm sorry. During the time when you were in Canada and you did go through all of these lab tests, etc., they got like you got negative of
Negative.
all the
Yep.
things.
To the point that they
How?
wanted to check for like HIV. I was like, what? Like that's how far you guys are searching, you know? So
Wow.
just weird. It was just the Canadian system when it comes to the medical system is just. If I wanted to talk about it for a whole hour, I could talk about how horrible it is and how
Yeah,
many times they wronged me. You know,
yeah.
a lot
I
of people.
saw. I
Yeah.
actually saw the one of the videos where she is recording one of the doctors. But we will come to that, I guess, because if it's a little bit into
That's my
to the
oncologist.
story.
He's been my oncologist for the last 8 years. Down there. We're too tired of each other, looking at each other for
Mm.
that long. Maybe that's what
Mm,
it is. But I don't know. I
wow.
feel like he hides a lot of things from my own medical problems, you know? And then later on, I find out when it's a little too late or things got even worse, you
Yeah,
know?
worse. Yeah,
So
subhanallah.
there's a lot of situations like that. Long story short, I went to Somalia. I was getting more sick. I was losing more weight. I came back like literally. I lost like maybe they said when I came back, the doctor said 70% of my body weight. I could even walk. Someone had to
Wow.
walk me into the hospital. So I came back here
Right.
by myself to Canada. My family was still there because everything was too fast, you know. So I came. They put me in the hospital. They were doing all these testings, bone marrow biopsy, all these testings, negative, 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 to the point that like we see that this girl is getting worse and worse, but we don't know what's wrong with her, you know? So the
Subhanallah.
doctors in the hospital was searching for everything. After maybe a year and a half after, when we put all that together, maybe like a year now, a year and a half, there was a they wanted to do a biopsy in my groin. One of the doctors that was there said, no, we're not doing it. We're not going to find no answer there. Our next thing is to remove her whole lymph node that was in this part that was the biggest, you know?
Okay.
So another doctor overrided him, said, let's do that biopsy. Alhamdulillah, um, that doctor, we did that biopsy, and that's the biopsy they found my cancer in. Yeah, so Alhamdulillah, that time it was Wednesday, October 9th. I remember it because my mom and the kids were coming from Somalia. So I told the hospital the night before, hey, can I get a 24-hour break just to go home and go see my family? And then I'll come into the hospital the next night, you know? Because they were still
Okay.
doing
Yeah.
testings. I'm
All
just
right.
going a little back forward just to tell you how it went. And
Yes.
then
Right, right.
Please.
Yeah.
those nights before that, I used to wake up every night, pray Salatul Layl, and I used to always just cry because you know it's worse to not know what's going on with you than to know
Mm,
what's going on with you. Do you
It's
understand what I'm trying
different.
to
right.
say? So I used
100%.
to pray and just be like, Ilahiyo, I don't care what it is, just wahda wala, you know? Just something
Yeah.
that has medicine and a cure to it. I really
Mm-hmm.
don't care what it is. So that Wednesday night, when I went home, no, the night before Wednesday, so I went home Tuesday night. I went to sleep. I had a dream that I was gonna get cancer, Hodgkin's, and I've searched Hodgkin's while I was in the hospital, and I
Oh
seen that
yeah.
my symptoms were very, very similar, you know. So I kept putting in my
Subhanallah.
head, it could be this Hodgkin's, you know. But I wasn't telling anyone, but I kept it to myself. So that night when
What
I
made
had a dream,
you?
yeah,
Sorry, cutting off. What made you think that it would be that particular, like Hodgkin's? What made you think that it would be that one?
because my symptoms aligned with it so well. Like everything
Okay.
I was going through. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not even close to being
No.
a
Yeah.
doctor. So, but I just kept looking at the symptoms and I kept saying something about these symptoms are very similar to mine's. And I feel like
Yeah.
it's either going to go towards there or something
Mm.
else. But my head was more towards this cancer, you know? So I
Yeah.
didn't tell anyone. I
Mm.
didn't want to scare my family. I woke up that morning. I told my aunt, I said, Habir Haliwa Hankuriyode about
Mm.
cancer. Me. No, typical Somali Hoya. That's just a
Yeah.
Mm.
dream. Blah, 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 blah. That's the Wednesday my mom touched down. She touched down like around 12 p.m. I said hi to her. She said, when you go to the hospital tonight, make sure you wake me up because, they're tired. They've been traveling from Somalia all the way to Canada. So I was just in
Yeah.
the back of my head, like, yeah, I'll wake you up. In the back of my head, I was like, I'm not waking up my mom for no hospital. That they're not going to tell me nothing. It's the same old bullshit.
Yeah.
So that day in particular, they kept calling me. The hospital kept calling me. They were annoying me. Come in, come in. I was like, can you guys just leave me alone? Can I just have like a few hours with my family so I could come in peacefully tonight? No. We
Yeah.
need to talk to you. Come in, come in, come in. I was like, okay, I'm gonna come in. Every other hour, the calling. It got to like when it got to like 4 or 5 p.m. I'm like, there's no way there's a doctor still waiting for me at a hospital at this time because usually they leave. Like there's a certain time these hospitals, these doctors leave in the afternoon, you know? But this doctor
Yes.
in particular wasn't leaving. She kept calling me to come in. So I was just like, I was annoyed, mad. And that day, I don't know, there's some sort of like, I don't know how to explain it, like, erase on me. Like, I was very angry. I was very, like, mad a little bit. I was, like, just not on the good side of the mood. So I told my aunt around 8 o'clock, just take me to this hospital. Plus, my friend told me that night before, I'm not coming to sleep with you. So I was just already bad. I was like, I'm going back to this hospital by myself, sleeping next to a random stranger. You know that hospital feeling.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hated it.
And
I went in, alhamdulillah. Right when I went in, I seen one of my nurses that knows me.
yeah.
She started rubbing my back. I was like, why is this
Okay.
lady rubbing my back? I didn't even get to sit down yet. Like, I'm walking
Yeah.
in the hospital, she's rubbing my back. She's like, do you want to sit in the, like, there's an entertainment room where they watch TV, where the guests come when they come to the hospitals. So she's like, do you want to sit in here and wait for the doctor? I was like, okay, I'll go in there and sit and wait for the doctor. Right? That already told me there's going to be something told to me, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right when she came in, she was just like, oh, um, no, my mom called that same second. She's like, "Hey, Kiri, so why didn't you wake me up? What are you going?" I was like, Hoya, the doctor's in here. Let me give you a call back. I hung up on her, and the lady said to me, do you want your family here? I looked at her.
Wow.
I was like, why do I
You
need
know
my
that can be
family
good.
here? I've been in the hospital for this long. There's barely any family that came. You could tell me what you want to tell me. I'm ready, you know? So then after she's like, are you sure? I was like, listen, ma'am, I've been through a lot. You could tell me what you have to tell me. Just say it to me. And already in my head, it was like a blur. Right when she said Hodgkin's lymphoma, and then she added, "You're strong. You're a strong girl. You have Hodgkin's lymphoma, stage 4." This lady, the nurse, starts rubbing my back even more. Right when she rubbed my back, I teared up a little, but it was weird. I was tearing up, but I was happy. I always explain to people this, and they always say, "How are you happy?" I was like, it was like a sad but happy feeling because I was sad that I have to break the news to my family. Not sad that I
Right.
was going through the
For
disease
yourself.
myself. I
Hmm.
was sad that but I'm gonna have to tell my mom on the phone two more minutes later, But I was happy that finally they knew what was going on with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right when they told me, I teared up a little bit, and then I was more tearing up when I was telling my mom. Because, obviously
Yeah.
breaking the news to your mom is just like that feeling like shit. Like, I don't even want to tell my mom this. Because I can hug it. I can deal with that pain. But I'm that type of person. I don't like putting my pain on someone else. You know?
Yeah.
I like to take everything for myself. I told my mom. And then right when my mom heard me crying, I said, why are you crying? This is ilahi baqu. I just stopped crying. I was just like, okay, wow. My mom just
Yeah.
told me to shut up. I'm good.
Wow.
There's
Allahu
nothing
Akbar.
wrong with me. Like I went from tearing up to like,
MashaAllah.
let me go tell the whole family now. Like it was a celebration in my head. Like, let me go tell my whole family in my head. One nurse looked
Right.
at me. She's like, if I was you, I would have cried every single night. And I looked at that nurse. I still remember her. It was another nurse. It was a white, skinny nurse. I remember her. I looked at her. I was
Mm.
like, if I cried tonight and I wake up in the morning, am I gonna be free of cancer? You should try that too.
Exactly.
No.
And she's
Exactly.
like, oh, you're so strong. I'm just like,
Yeah.
just keep it going. Right after that, I just told
Yeah.
myself in my head, this is not cancer. This is,
Mm.
I'm dealing with a cold. Because I know
Mm.
everything in the world is mind over matter. And these
Hmm.
doctors want you to internalize
Yeah.
something. If I internalize that first day, oh, I'm going
Hmm.
through cancer, it's a
Mm.
wrap for me. I'm going to die. I'm going to be sick, then I'm going to start feeling sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I told myself automatically this is a cold. My friends were visiting me in the hospital. I remember they're all crying. I was like, listen, you guys, please don't bring that energy to me. Could you guys see me? Am I crying? Do you see my mom crying? Do you see anyone else crying? If you guys cry, what's the point? I said, this is a cold. No, it's not a cold. It's cancer. I was just like, I'm telling myself it's a cold for a reason. I know it's not a cold.
Right.
Yes,
I know it's cancer. But it's a harkab to me. Just let it be.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Anyways.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, just the fact, when I contacted Sagal,
Right.
I felt like, honestly speaking, when I saw the first video, when you had your best friend sitting near you, that video, the latest, I think,
Oh, the
video you
latest
had.
video. Yeah, the latest video. Yeah.
And honestly speaking, when I heard the story, I forgot about all of my problems. But at the same time, I was like, I would like to, like, it would be nice to openly talk, because a lot of times I feel like, it's very uncomfortable to talk if you have something, like if you have a sickness or so, it's but when you make it open, it will always have an effect on you, positive effect, because that's what I read on, like, that, talking about problems or talking about things that happen to you actually, you know helps you positive, يعني,
Yeah, you
in a
heal.
positive
You
way.
heal.
Yeah, you heal, because it's up here. And wallahi Horta, first of all, we're very, very grateful, to have you on here to talk,
Yeah.
to talk openly about this. And inshallah, I really would like uh, to go a little bit more deeper into this, inshallah, but we will do it in a couple of minutes. So, Mo, would you like to say, you wanted to say something?
Nah, I had a few things, but I forgot
Yeah.
about them. There's
Alright, okay.
when you got a story that's this deep, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? If I don't say it right away, I'll forget about it. So I just want to say, it's beautiful that like your mom said that it was written for you. It was written for you, and as Muslims, how when you internalize things happening to you, you realize that it was meant to happen, and how you take it in has a major effect on how the outcome will be in your mind. There's so many sicknesses in the world, for real, that people are taking taking medical medicines and stuff like this to overcome, that are of the mind. You dig what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like of the mind, the stress, blood pressure. There's so many things that once you control your mind, you control your own. You really control yourself. You know what I'm saying? There's an African proverb that I really like. That says, "And if you something about, if you don't have an enemy within, then the enemy without can do you no harm." You dig what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
you controlling your mind in that state of mind where it's true. A lot of people would break down and cry and all these things, but that's the beautiful thing about iman and faith, that you have faith that things will get better over insurmountable odds. And how
That is to be strong. Like, that's really,
but
like,
that's strength. That's what I'm
yes.
saying. I feel like strength, it comes in a lot of us think of strength in a way like, physical strength. I can lift 1,000 kilos, man. But in reality, it's like situations like this where you really see what strength really means, where most people would break down and cry, like you said about your friends, right? A lot of people would be going to sleep crying and all these things, but you decided to just think of it as a flu. You know what I'm saying? Hargab in Somali. For all of y'all, shout out to all of y'all who don't speak Somali just yet. Keep up with us, Mass Productions.
Yeah.
You'll learn some Somali. Don't worry about it. I hit that subscribe button.
Yeah.
Like, share, subscribe. On to the
Okay.
next. But I'm just saying that mind over matter is really and truly an inspirational thing, and I like to believe that I just really love to hear these stories
Yes.
where you overcome with simply having a mindset that this will not stop me over, no matter what the case is. I don't know how I would react. I can say whatever I want right now, but I don't know how I would react in your position. But you taking that position is what I hope I would do in that situation. And that's just beautiful. So I just wanted to put it out there and let you know about that.
Yeah, yeah. And also, when I was talking with Sagal over the phone, I was explaining, saying that, all right, there's a lot of people that when you talk about your like, I had this or this happened. A lot of people might like answer, I understand, I understand, I understand. But really, like, truly, if you haven't went through it, you wouldn't understand. Like,
No.
you
Yeah,
don't understand. You,
Yeah.
you really don't understand. It's just that you hear, and I hear what you're saying. That's different than saying I
I
understand.
understand. Yeah, people don't
Yes.
know the
Mm,
difference between those two. Even my last video,
mm,
that was like my most vulnerable video. I've never been
Right.
that vulnerable on camera ever. And it was
mm,
because of all these drugs that these doctors had me on within the last few weeks before when I relapsed. That's what the video is talking about. So then
mhm,
a lot of people reached out and said, Solo, but you've been stronger than that. You have to still be strong like this. I'm like, listen, you
uh,
guys, until you guys are in my shoes, until you guys have sleepless nights and you are on 10 steroids and you're on Percocets and you're not sleeping, your mind's not functioning. I couldn't even
mhm,
talk to my mom straight. My mom says two words: I'm angry, I'm irritated. I can't even have a conversation with humans. My face got swelled. Now it's going down. People are looking
mm,
at me saying, oh, your face got fat, your face. I'm like, listen, you guys, this is not the time to talk about my face getting fat. It's about me
Yeah.
internalizing, trying to fix what's going through my head. Because that time I
mhm,
kept telling people, these doctors are not listening to me, but I feel like there's a machine going on in my body that I'm trying to feel normal from the outside, but I know I'm not normal from the inside. So that was the
Mm.
only one time I could probably say I felt a little defeated, because usually I'm up to date with all my stuff. When I start feeling sick, I know how to deal with myself. I know how to tell myself, Slugger, you'll be okay. But I guess not sleeping was different to me. I didn't know the
Mm.
effects of not sleeping, how bad it can take a toll on your brain. How
mhm.
bad it can
No.
take a toll on you talking to people, how you
Yeah.
functioning, how you moving. I
Yes.
never dealt with that before. Anxiety, panic attack, and all of that.
Yeah.
I didn't know what those words were. Yeah, I've heard
Why don't
them.
we exactly, like, why don't we talk, because I wanted to really touch your
Yeah,
breakthrough with the radiation therapy.
yeah.
Like, if we can talk about what it is,
hmm
and why someone would like, why do you take the radiation therapy, and how it was like, throughout. It was 10 days, if I'm not wrong.
It
It
was
was
10
10 days.
days.
Yeah.
So basically, long story short, my journey is very long. So I did
Yeah.
a clinical trial at Mayo Clinic in America last year. That's when you
Mhm.
become a test rat, for a clinical trial medicine. The medicine was working for me. Eventually, some things happened to my liver enzymes were high. They couldn't handle me in it. They kicked me out of the trial. Once they
Okay.
kicked me out of the trial, that was like around October 2020. October 2020, I came back to Canada. Um, the doctor before I left said, listen, when you go to Canada, things right now look clear in your scan, but if you stay longer without taking any medicine, things will progress. So I want you to go to your doctor in Canada, because he knows my doctor in Canada. But obviously, a
Okay.
doctor in America and a doctor in Canada are not going to give each other advices about me. So
Yeah.
he's telling me, okay, go to that doctor, tell him to give you this pill, because this pill will make you stabilize and stabilize your cancer until we further another trial that's coming, and I'm going to put you on that trial. So that doctor
Okay.
was working with me, the doctor in Mayo,
Mm.
around October. I know
Okay.
this doctor, how his reaction is going to be. I came
Mm.
to him, I told him, hey, doctor, you know, I don't want things to get worse, you know? Can I get these pills? He said no. He said, there's nothing I can measure it by, and I go by measurement. And if I give you these pills right now without me seeing exact cancer in your body, 3 months down the line when I take a scan, if it worked for you, I wouldn't know if it worked for you. So, no. So I said, okay. So you want me to come in 3 months to you, doctor, when things get worse, when I'm not exactly when you're bedridden, he said. He said, but like, when you come back after a few months, we'll see. He knows in his
Okay.
head, after a few months, things are progressing. I know that
Yes,
Yeah.
of
too.
course.
He knows that
Yes.
too. We both know that because we both been through this. I've been through cancer 7, 8 years. I've relapsed more than 3, 4 times. I know the whole pattern. So I was just
Mm.
like,
Right.
ilahi banu dafia. I was like,
Yeah.
ilahi ba'udafia, whatever happens,
Beautiful
happens,
God.
Saga. I went for a few months in October, November, December, around January. February, I start feeling my back hurting. Right when I feel my lower back hurting, I already know what it is. I was like, okay, boom.
Mhm.
It's cancer knocking back at your door, Saga. I hugged it a little bit because you know me, I don't want to break the news back to my family. Like, listen,
Yeah.
Right.
my cancer is coming back again, and I could feel it in my body. I kind of kept it on the hush hush, kept my little job on the side. Then I had an appointment with him. When was it around? I have chemo brain. It's because of all the chemo they gave me. Shout out to these oncologists. They give you chemo brain. Um,
Yeah.
so around March, was it March? Yeah, around March, I had an appointment with him. Right when I went to him, I was already like my back was hurting already. My eating habit was bad. I told him, "Listen, doctor, you already know what time it is, you know." And he just like,
Mhm.
"Okay, let's send you for a scan." He sent me for a CT scan. He's seen that the cancer came back. My CT scan comes on online portal, so I see it before he tells me to even come into the office. You know.
Okay.
So I read it.
Mm.
I was reading. I was reading and reading and reading. They said relapse. I was like, okay, darn, I know what this means. But then I
What did it
see,
mean?
I said I know what this means. Like this means my cancer
Oh, yeah,
came
yeah,
back.
yeah,
I
yeah.
relapsed.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm
Okay.
just like, but then I seen things that were saying in your liver, and something in your liver, in your liver, in your. So I was just like, okay, I've never had anything in my major organs. This is different. So I tried asking people because I have a following. So I was asking people, do you guys know anyone, doctors, that can kind of give me the answer before I go to this man? So I have
Yeah.
everything prepared to ask or whatever I want to say to him. So
Yeah.
some people are like, oh my God, I'm too emotional. I don't want to read what's going on with her. Some people are saying, yeah, she's on the right track. There's something wrong with her liver. But
Mm.
some doctors don't want to tell you everything because they're doctors and that's a malpractice. Do you understand what I'm
Okay.
trying to say? So I spoke to some people. They told me like everything that I was thinking in my head was
Yeah.
exactly what they were telling me. So I was just
Cool.
like, okay. I went to the appointment. He told me, your cancer came back. Um, as you know, he told me like I think the year before. If you see my old videos, he told me before I had no options because he said you exhausted most of your options. You've done chemo, you've done radiation, you've
Mm-hmm.
done immunotherapy, you've done stem cell transplant, you've done all of that. The only kind of option you have left is he's been pushing the agenda of bone marrow transplant, and I've been rejecting that for the last 3 years from him because I know it's
And
a high risk.
what is that?
I guess it's when they take like blood from like your siblings or maybe a donor and put it in you, but sometimes your
Okay.
body can reject it and it's very high risk. It's kind of one of the
Okay.
last things to resort to when you're out of zero options.
Okay.
And for
Okay.
someone like me, it's a really a high risk, you know. So I was
Yes.
always telling
And
him
he
years ago.
basically told you like you don't have any more options now.
Yeah, he told me that the year before. He told me that 2019. When he told me that 2019, I ran to India. And then I came back and then
Yeah.
I went to Mayo and Mayo told me all these options. Mayo even said, you're still young. You have chemo options. But Mayo is just the extra dollar you got to put in. You know what I mean? Rather than these
Yeah.
free doctors, you're paying for it, but you're paying for quality when you're at Mayo, you know? Rather than this doctor telling you, first of all, before I even went to Mayo, he said, can you even afford Mayo? That's a millionaire. Are you a millionaire? I said, I'm a millionaire by the heart. Don't worry. I'll find
Exactly.
my way in. I'll find my
Exactly.
way in Mayo Clinic. They were trying to scare
Yeah.
me off Mayo and
Why
push
would they say
bone
that
marrow.
though? Like they
Yeah,
I would like if you can find it, please, if you can go there, please go there. Like you understand, instead of saying like, can you really afford that? No, what is that?
yeah. I remember
I
there
don't
was a
know.
German doctor with him, and she's like, "You must be a millionaire if you're going there." And I was just looking at her like, "You don't know me. You don't know our Somali community. You don't know what we're capable of." But I just
Yes.
kept it quiet. I did a GoFundMe. My GoFundMe kind of went viral.
Right.
Alhamdulillah, a lot of Somalis reached out all over the world.
Right.
I went to Mayo Clinic. They kind of gave me some options. Long story short, forget about that. I did the trial. I came back. It didn't work. This doctor said no. He said about the whole liver thing.
Mm,
He said, listen, what we're gonna do is since your back is hurting,
mm.
we're gonna give you radiation. We're gonna radiate. Yeah. That's the first issue we're gonna try to get rid of, because that's where. And then we're gonna do a liver biopsy to see if that is the same cancer that's in your liver or a different cancer that's affecting your liver. So I was already more scared about the whole liver. I don't really care about no radiation. I was just thinking about, I hope this is either the same cancer, or nothing really bad that's gonna mess up my liver, because the liver is a major organ,
Yes, absolutely.
After that, he said we're gonna request the pills. The pills that he didn't want to request in October, he's offering now to request, because now I have the cancer. Now it's spreaded in my body. Now he's ready to request that. And I told him, yeah, I'll agree with you in the bone marrow, just so I can get the pills requested. You got to play smart with these doctors.
Yes, of course.
If you play dumb and you say, no, I'm not going to do the bone marrow, he could be like, no, I'm not giving you the pills.
Yes.
So I said, doctor, I agreed to the bone marrow because I know that takes a long process.
Yes.
But can you please request me these pills in advance?
Yes.
So he said, okay, I will. So anyways, I went in for the liver biopsy. Alhamdulillah, there was 3 Muslim doctors. I remember they were in that room with me. They did the first, before you do the liver biopsy, you have to do an ultrasound in your liver to see where they're gonna do the exact biopsy, because it's invasive biopsy. So he was doing an ultrasound. The first doctor said we can't see nothing. Like, we could see everything on the CT scan, what it's telling us. You have all these things in your liver, but we don't see it in the ultrasound and the camera they're looking at, So he got another doctor to do it. While this doctor is trying to call my oncologist, he got another doctor to do it. They were checking. Same thing. They said they see one little, I don't know what they said it was called. Forgot the word.
Lump?
No, it was like one little, whatever it was. It wasn't anything important for them to do a biopsy in,
Okay.
We're like, they're not going in for this little thing. So a third doctor, Muslim doctor, lady doctor, came, and they're like, let her check. Before that, they're like, what are you taking? I was like, I'm taking steroids. So the doctor put me on steroids right when I told him my back was hurting and I can't eat.
Yeah.
And he's like, take steroids, 10 a day. 10 a day is a lot for someone taking steroids who hasn't taken steroids in a long time. And plus, it's called dexamethasone. It's one of the highest dose of steroids, So she did the last search. She couldn't see it. My doctor said, oh, it could have been the steroids that helped her out. Let her get out the room. She's good to go. That's exactly what happened. They're like, go. I was like, Alhamdulillah.
I don't know how they got their degree,
All these
bro.
doctors in there were like, Alhamdulillah.
Doctors,
This
man.
must be a Ramadan thing. They said, even the Muslim doctors are in there. They said, pray to God. Alhamdulillah, sister. You're good, I left.
And when was this?
That was, when was it? Like the date?
Yeah, like around what time? Was it this year?
This was right after. Yeah, this is exactly right after he sent me for the CT scan. I had my biopsy the next week.
Yes.
And the same day I had my biopsy schedule, I had my first day of radiation schedule for the evening. So right after that, I went home, changed, ate some qadha, and then I came back for radiation. I started my first day of radiation. Radiation, you have to go continuously every single day. So they told me your period is 10 days. You're only going to go for 10 days straight. So I started my radiation. When I did
Do you have breaks in between?
No. Oh, like every single day.
Yeah, no. Wait. Let me ask the question. Yeah. What I'm saying is, when you have radiation, is it like an 8 hours straight? You just under a thing, just sleeping there, basically getting blasted on by radiation, or do you have breaks? 5 minutes, and then you take 5 minutes off, or is it like 5 minutes back to back?
No, it's literally I go under a machine. It's like an X-ray machine. I'm lying down there. The most time they're taking is aligning me to the table, aligning me to where they want the radiation thing to go down on, Before they even do that, they give you radiation tattoos. So they mark you up where they want to radiate with you with real tattoo ink. But it's like dots. Because every day every day they know your skin, if they did markers, it's just going to rub off and they're going to have to try to find that same location, So they align you to those dots Right when they align you to the table, they leave the room. They say, "Do you want music on?" I tell them, "Hell no," because everything's going on only for 5 minutes. It's a machine that's rotating. That machine that's
Okay.
rotating for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, okay, good to go home. Bye. I'm in that
Ah,
whole place maybe
Okay.
10 minutes in
but
that
then you
whole
get to
room.
go home.
Then I go
Yeah.
home next day, come back, same routine.
But
Okay.
um it affects you, like you cannot sleep, right? When during this time. It was like that you had sleeping problems during the radiation. The times are
It
very
was.
like
It
10
wasn't
days.
just the radiation. The radiation was making me weak in my legs.
Okay.
So
All
it
right.
was making me to the point that I couldn't even get up without like telling someone to help me or literally like grabbing something. Like I felt my legs deteriorating. You know, I
Mm.
felt my lower legs deteriorating. What was causing me no sleep was the steroids. So let me tell you about the
Okay.
steroids.
All
Right
right.
before
Yeah.
radiation, I was supposed to be on steroids for 10 days. 10, 10, 10, 10 each day for 10
Okay.
days. Before you take someone off steroid, you got to taper them down by the gram so they don't go through a crash. Because, if you
Right.
take them off, if you put them on 10, 10, 10 until the last day and take them off, they go through a big crash. That's even worse feeling than you even came into. So I told my
Right.
oncologist right before that, hey, doctor, I already know how this goes. Taper me down before I go through the withdrawal crash. He
Mm.
said, yeah, I'm going to withdraw you down. He put me on 10 for 10 days. Didn't even take me off. It went to the weekend, tried to call him, no answer. So what did I go through? A
Wow.
crash. My whole body was hurting. I was 10 times more sicker than I even went into there. So that Monday was when I had the biopsy and radiation. I had to
Okay.
tell the radiation doctor, listen, I'm going through a crazy crash.
Yeah.
This is what happened. He called my oncologist. He's like, I'm sorry, I have to put you on a different steroids, the same steroids, but now I'm gonna put you on 5 and take you down on 4, 3, 2, 1, like that. Each
Yes.
like 5 for 5 days, 4 for 3 days, 3 for
Mm.
3 days, and that's how he was supposed to take me off. While I was going through radiation, I was going through side effects. So these doctors would tell me, take one more steroid on top of your steroid dose. That would ruin my count. Again, it messed up my tapering down. So I had to go on another set of steroids. So imagine someone who keeps going on steroids after steroids
Oh, yeah.
after
Yeah, yeah,
steroids.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
not even supposed to be on steroids for that long. My
Yes.
sleep my sleep went from someone sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night to sleeping literally maybe if I get in 2 hours a night. Then the next day radiation on top of the pills, on top of not sleeping. I was slowly like
Yes.
deteriorating mind wise, becoming
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
irritable,
Yeah.
not being able
Hmm.
to focus.
Mm.
My face swelled up. Usually, steroid makes your face a little moon face, but this
Mm.
time it was to the point where I felt the heaviness in my face where I couldn't even like smile. Where I
Mm.
Mm.
felt like inside my face was
Yes, yes.
literally like palpitating. My neck was big. I couldn't even move my head. Everything was just bad. Mentally, physically, I just felt like I was going down a spiral. So I was just like, these doctors, this was their plan to
Hmm.
get me to this point, to the lowest that I can be. But me, I kept trying to just fight that. I was trying to fight it
Hmm.
by obviously, you see my best friend in the video. I used to
Yeah.
go to her house because she lives right upstairs, and I used to just talk gibberish. She didn't care what I was saying to her because this time I'm not even talking straight. Like people
Yeah.
try
Right.
to talk to me, I'm telling them, listen, whatever I say to you guys during these next couple of weeks, don't hold it against me. It's the pills.
Mm.
Right.
Absolutely.
Sorry, you guys.
No, no,
I thought
All
I
same
put
good.
this
thing.
phone on silent, and for some
It's
reason,
okay.
it keeps coming on. Let me
Get
just
a
try to
booming
take.
line. Everybody wants to talk.
Yeah.
No, it's some people in Dubai at the airport that try to say comes for some advertisement band stuff. Hold on, how do you turn my whole phone off? Sorry, I'm not an iPhone person. My first time getting an iPhone this year. I'm an Android.
Oh yeah.
You and
Yeah.
me
You're
both.
Android.
Shout out to
Don't worry,
Android.
we
I still
Android
have my
gang. Don't
Android
worry.
phone. I
No,
still
man.
have my Android phone.
That's
But
right.
iPhone.
Nobody cares about that phone
I
anyway,
can't
bro.
understand no iPhone. I've been having the iPhone 12. But anyways, long story
Um.
short, yeah, I was just
Yeah.
Yeah.
going through it. My best friend, she was there for me. And me, just like every 2 words someone said to me, I would just either cry, like cry in anger, or just not be able to answer them. But I didn't know what was wrong with me, you know? I kept going to these doctors. Listen, doctor, I felt this heaviness on my chest. I kept telling them I feel like someone put 30 bricks and just sat it on my chest. And I don't know what this feeling is, but this feeling is horrible. No, 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 no. They're looking at me like I'm crazy. They're writing me narcotics, Percocets. This time Percocets are not even helping me. I'm taking Percocets. I'm not even feeling what it's even doing for me. I'm just like, nothing is helping at this point. You know, people are like, take CBD, not working. Take all these sleeping pills, not working. I'm trying to shove 3 Percocets and sleeping pill just to get sleep at night.
Nothing.
Nothing is
And no.
working for me. I was just like,
Wow.
at this point, I just kept getting worse and worse. Then I started feeling a tightness in my chest. Like I felt like something was closing in. And I kept telling these doctors, something is closing in on my chest. I don't know what it is, but I don't feel well. Even when I was eating, it just felt like everything was closing in. And after I would go to the doctor, they wouldn't tell me. I went into the hospital. The hospital kept me for a couple of hours like I was in a hotel. And they said, listen, you have too many problems and you're taking too many medicine. Go to your oncologist. So I said, you guys kept me here for the whole midnight just to tell me this bullshit? Just to tell me to go back to an oncologist? I went to the doctor the next day. It was radiation. I remember it was radiation day 7, day 8. They seen how much I was falling around to the point that I was so dizzy that they're like, this girl's either gonna faint in the hospital or we need to sit her in the ambulance area, you know? They sat me there. They tried to call a doctor. My doctor wasn't there, my radiation doctor. So his residents, the people who do the university, they came in. This man has the nerve to write me heartburn pills. I looked at him, I laughed. I said, listen, I already have heartburn from steroids. I take heartburn pills. Don't try to write me no heartburn pills. This is not heartburn what I'm going through. So he's like, it might
You
be
know,
anxiety, but I'm gonna book an appointment with those, what are they called? Psychosis doctors. I said, I need them now. If it's
yeah.
anxiety, I need them now. I'm not taking, he said, but just take the heartburn pills. It could be something to do with heartburn.
You know, Sagal, what I'm thinking of is that at least like you're telling them, don't give me this. Like
Yeah, I'm my
I've
own
been
doctor.
using this. Yeah, you are aware of what you're taking. I'm just thinking of a lot of people, they do not know this stuff and they just being given things and they use it and they just being given and they take and they take and they take until
They
the
just say
worst
yes to the
happens.
doctor. I don't
Yes.
say to no doctor. I've
Eh,
been with the doctor 8 years. I'm questioning every little thing he's giving me. I'm questioning
Wow,
everything. I'm
mashallah.
searching it
I
up.
have to give you the
You know.
you how thinking now as looking at you. Alhamdulillah, I see you that you're fine. You're talking. You're traveling. How do you feel now? What are you going through now? And how is where does I don't want to say like where does the story end? But what I mean is more like what happened now, like where are we with your therapies and or did it's nothing now, like from the doctor's side everything
Hmm.
is fine?
Yeah.
Like
So after I
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah,
did
I
the
did say.
doctors just do you finally have a proper doctor that didn't get his degree on eBay or what? Like it seems
I
like these
still have
doctors
that
don't know
same
what they're
doctor.
doing.
That doctor holds the whole. My doctor runs the whole facility of lymphoma. He's one of the top doctors. The
Okay.
hospital I'm at in Toronto is one of the top hospitals. So everyone is so easy to question me, like, Saga, go to another doctor, go to another hospital. It's so easy to say, but someone who has
Yeah,
8 years of your history, almost nine
Yes.
right,
years, that has
Yes.
right.
everything, that is one of the leaders of
Mm,
all the other doctors and everyone else are under him, you can't go to
yes.
no other
Yeah.
doctor and say you came from him unless
Oh,
I'm
for
leaving
sure.
the
Yeah.
country,
But
you know?
but at the
So,
same but at
yeah.
the same time, I'm just wondering, like this oncologist dude, he he's a top top doctor, right? But this
Mm-hmm.
same top doctor is kind of
Mm-hmm.
like he's making very basic mistakes, man. Like this
Basic
whole thing you
mistake.
said about the weekend and he's like, yeah, I'll weigh you when you know, like I slowly break it down so that you don't have these crashes. It's the same guy who just went on his weekend, bro. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
and just
And comes back on a
shut the
Monday,
phone. Yeah.
and then he's just like, "Oh yeah,
There's
so
no
now we're gonna do it."
empathy. There's no sympathy with him because
It's
he's been
like,
dealing with cancer for so long. He sees people die. I just feel like some doctors, they see people die on a daily basis that
Yeah.
they don't empathize or sympathize with anyone. I'm just like another one to them, you
yep.
know?
But even if you're another one, you
Hmm.
like
I'm still human.
even if there's no
Yeah.
empathy, you're supposed to like you're a doctor. You're the top doctor. So I would
Mm.
think that he writes down, okay, this person needs to be waned off it. This and this and this. This needs to happen. I don't think you need empathy for that. It just needs accuracy for that. That's it.
Mm.
You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? Because you are a doctor. There is a reason why you are so
Absolutely.
Facts.
capable and all of
Mm.
these things.
Facts.
So
Mm.
I would expect this. You don't have to be a top doctor to write down. Okay, so we need to wean you off this thing, and I'm not gonna be here over the weekend. So Mr. X is gonna give you this and this and this. I'll send him a message to make sure that he gets to you and you get your process of decreasing your steroids.
Mm.
You know, this is just like for me as an outsider looking in,
Mm.
this is like wild that a top doctor, like you said, top big boss, big top dog, all the way
No, he's
of
big
this
Mm.
boss for
lymphoma
them.
thing.
He's not big boss for me. He's big boss for
Of
he's big
course,
boss for
Yeah,
that system.
exactly.
He's
yeah, but
not
that's
big
what I'm
boss
saying.
for
Like
me.
for this
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
sickness, you know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes, yes.
Exactly.
For this disease, he's the big boss. But as a person who's on top of this kind of sickness, you would expect that this person has dealt with this exact thing so many times. It should be a muscle memory by now. Just you have a flu, there's certain medication you take and you move on from there.
So Sagal, I would like to ask you, like, how do you feel now? I can see you, mashallah. You're talking to us, you're
Hmm.
laughing, you're with us. We are very happy that, we see you like this, of course.
Absolutely.
How do you feel now? You're traveling. Let us know, like, how's the situation right now?
Well, I'm good. Every time I travel, I just like to de-stress, you know? So this traveling is more of
Mm.
de-stressing because I feel like I'm allergic
Alhamdulillah.
to Canada. But
Yeah.
the last doctor I dealt with, the psychosis doctor, she kind of looked at me and said, "I'm so sorry it got to this point." She literally looked at
Mm.
me. I never put that clip in. I still have that clip, you know? She's like, "Even
Okay.
these pills they were writing you were wrong for sleep. They were never going to help you with sleep." This
Wow.
is a prime example of induced panic attack from the steroids they gave you because they never took you off the steroids.
Mm.
Because my doctor was looking at me. I cut most of the clip off. I don't know if you heard, but he kind of was looking at me saying, "Have you ever heard of anxiety? Have you heard of panic attack?" And I kind of just kept getting mad because I'm looking at him and I'm like, "Nigga, sorry for my language. Like,
It's
Go
all
for
good,
it.
I
man.
wouldn't I wouldn't get anxiety or panic attack if it wasn't for your stupid pills that you were giving
Yeah.
me. You know what I mean? I never had this
100%.
before." So that's what kind of made
SubhanAllah.
me snap on him. You know, and he looked at me the first
Yeah.
when he came and was like, "You kind of got big." What did I get big from? Did I get big from looking at you, or did I get big from what you put me on and did not take me off the right way? Do you understand?
Obviously.
So I just
Yes.
felt like
100%.
everything with him he kept saying that was getting me mad in that video was, "I think, I think." Don't say I think, doctor.
Mm.
This is what you wrote me. This is all the
Yes.
side effects that are on the severe side effects. This is everything I went through. And you as a doctor failed me because you could have gave one call in. There's times I called in the on-call and I'm breaking sweat. I'm crying. I'm in so much like pain and my chest closing in. It was just the days before the hospitals. I was just like, "Listen, doctor, I don't know what's going on. I'm losing my mind right now. I need you guys to call the pharmacy, at least send them one pill to calm me down or put me to
Yes.
sleep. That's all I
Yes.
want. I want to
Yeah.
sleep and just for something to calm me down. I don't care if you guys have me on 10 drugs to go to sleep. I will take 10 drugs to go get my sleep back. That's how much I
Yes.
wanted my sleep, you know?" And they were refusing. They kept saying, "You're going to talk to this anxiety doctor." And I was getting so mad because I said to them, "I can't talk anymore. Doctor, I'm done talking. You guys had me talking for 72 hours with no sleep, and you guys still never gave me nothing. I'm not talking to no doctor. I just want my pills." And then after that lady came in, and I kind of was already angry and already amped when I seen her because I was just like, "Is this the lady that they've been saying I'm gonna talk to that has
Mm.
not called me?" So I came at
Yes.
her strong in the beginning. She's like, "Have you heard of me?" I said, "Yes, ma'am. I've heard of you, and you never called me yesterday when I was really sick." and they told me you're gonna call me. And she's like,
Mm.
I'm so sorry, and I'm so sorry what you're going through, but I'm gonna make sure I stay in contact with you every day, email you every day, give you the right pills to go to sleep, calm you down with anxiety pills to like calm your, I guess, a mood stabilizer,
Yes.
because we know this, the reason why you're irritated and mad is because you need something to stabilize your mood because of this lack of sleep.
Yes.
But I'm gonna promise that I email you every morning. And from that day on, I was already getting off the steroids. You know, she emailed
Yes.
me every morning. She made sure that, like, listen, how many hours did you sleep? I was like, 5. 5 is too less. Double dose that pill. I would double dose it. 8 hours of sleep. I would get 9 hours of sleep. Once my
Right.
sleep came in, and then my anxiety was kind of going away with the pill that she told me under the tongue was
Yes.
going away, I kind of just told myself, Saga, listen, you're off steroids. These doctors want you to now be immune to sleeping pills and anxiety pills. Yeah, I'm not
Mm.
going to do that. I took myself off. Took myself off the pills. Only sometimes I get that panic attack feeling where
Yes.
I feel like something's closing in. I might just pop one of those pills, but I
Yes.
don't take no sleeping pills, except last night when I was on that long flight, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Other
Yeah.
than that, I took myself off the pills. The steroids is off, and I'm getting better because there's no steroids in my
MashaAllah.
system now. Um, the sleeping is getting way better because now I'm taking random naps, and I think that is because of all the sleep that I've lost. That's
Yes.
Mm.
coming back in, you know?
Catching up.
Other than that, I'm feeling okay. My legs are still weak.
Alhamdulillah.
He told me, hey, that was a steroid issue. He told me that last minute. Like, the
Mm.
steroid caused you that. And I said, oh, thank you for telling me that.
Oh.
After
Wow.
going through all of that bullshit,
News.
he told me radiation was temporary and it wasn't a permanent thing. So if the radiation doesn't kind of help you, kind of boohoo, go back to, you know what I mean? The
Yes.
same old stuff. My pills came in. That's another thing the other day. The pills that we were waiting for the company. It was a company
Mm.
called Novartis, and they kind of
Okay.
either they say no or they say
Mm.
yes, or if they give you a compassionate release, because there's a pill that's like around more than 20,000, and it's just
Okay.
28 days pill, and you take it each month. You know, so
And it costs about
Alhamdulillah,
28,000.
it costs like more than 20 something thousand.
All
So
right.
you
Cool.
have to get it approved from that company. It's over his head. He just has to
Okay.
sign the papers. And the difficult part with him was that I put the pressure on, was him to
Yeah.
sign the papers and send it off, you know? So
All
every
right.
day I was on his butt. I did not leave him alone to the point that he looked at me and said, can you stop leaving me messages? I've tried
Mm.
my best. And I said, doctors, because they've called me and told me that you have, I lied to him, you know?
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
every time
Yeah.
he was on the company, and then finally I got my pills. He's like, start it,
Alhamdulillah.
but I told myself I'm gonna start it, inshallah. Um, maybe tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm gonna start it because it's
Inshallah.
21 days. I'm gonna start those pills. Those pills that kind of just stabilize your cancer for now. They're not for my cancer. They're for
Mm.
kidney cancer and other cancers. But for
Okay.
people who have relapsed Hodgkin's lymphoma,
Yeah.
Mayo doctor said I've seen people on it for years where it
Okay.
stabilized their cancer and nothing has grown. So he said stay on those pills until a trial called CAR T cell therapy comes, which is supposed to come this month, but now they pushed it to October. So Alhamdulillah, that's exactly what's going on right now.
Yeah. You got the pills. Alhamdulillah. You're gonna start tomorrow.
hmm
Inshallah. And
I've got my vaccine,
you
you
got
know,
the
COVID
vaccine, the
vaccine.
COVID-19. Yes.
Hmm.
MashaAllah.
hmm
That's great. I haven't got it yet,
Me neither.
and
Everyone's scared
hopefully,
of it. I took Pfizer and he told me since I'm high risk to come back in 3 weeks rather than people usually come back in 4 months.
yeah.
Right.
Maybe in 4 weeks when I go back, I'll probably get my second shot. You know?
Inshallah.
Okay.
Inshallah. So more. Yeah.
I still had a couple of questions on one thing that kept coming back is accountability, right? For the medical mistakes. There's a whole bunch. We don't have enough time for me to get into all
Yeah.
the things you pointed out. But have you, at least in Finland, like we don't have this suing culture as much as they do in America. I don't know if they have it in Canada for medical mistakes and all these kind of things. And also, I wanted to ask whether you thought about legal action because these are things that should not be taking place, and they're not unreasonable requests for a highly educated person to take care of his job, right? A very basic, not like highly complex things. to take care of. So have you thought of legal action to make sure that this doesn't happen to anybody else in your position, or is it like what's the situation in your mind?
Well, there's a lot of things that they've done that people told me to sue them for, But I
Mm.
kind of just told myself it's not even about the money. I don't care about money,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like I'm gonna leave them to God because nothing gets more powerful than that, Just leave them to Allah's hands, let Allah deal with them because at the end of the day, every time they've said something is gonna go wrong, something goes right for me. Maybe it's
Right.
the prayer of Allah. Maybe it's from all the
Right.
du'as of all the beautiful people who's been making du'a for me.
100%.
So I feel
Right.
like that's more stronger than me going through a bunch of legal actions. Some people said you
Right.
need a lawyer, you need someone to talk to you. Listen, I'm trying to fight for my life. I really don't
Yeah.
care about lawyers right now. I really don't care about suing. I just care to just deal with my health, and that's it. Moving forward.
You know, when I hear your story, and it was also something we talked about, is that just being grateful for what we have today.
Alhamdulillah.
And I'm thinking about a lot of people talk about success and financial freedoms, etc., etc., and it makes us forget about what's really important in life and what's how to be grateful of what you have.
Facts. That's so true. Because every time I'm going through, and I was going through the rough 4 weeks, I kept reminding myself, like, Sagal, it can be way worse. You're
Yeah.
still breathing, you're still getting up, you're still able to move. And there's people who are in way more worse predicaments than me, So I always tell myself to snap back, like, Alhamdulillah for what I have. And, Alhamdulillah for what's to come. Because Allah tested everyone in different ways. So a lot of people reached out, and I've told you that before, when
Yes.
we spoke on the phone. I said, hey, I called my sister. Hey, I called my family member and said sorry to them because I feel like life is so short, and what you're going through just put us in that type of predicament. So if my
Yes.
videos did that to people, I already know myself that I've done good. Like, that's enough for me.
Right.
If
That's
people
so
with
true.
cancer who never had anyone to talk to reach out just for me to be their comfort friend, I'm
Yes.
Yeah.
open. I will talk to you. We'll talk about it. We'll get through it. It's mind over matter. Some people told me they were
Always.
in the darkest place. I told them, come,
Yeah.
let's go out. I'll tell you guys how to deal with it. Don't think
Yeah.
about it. Be happy. That's how
Love it.
I always tell people the one thing is mind over matter. A lot of people just hear it, but they don't understand how strong and how powerful it is, you know, and how
Yes.
how you telling yourself you're sick can already change your whole predicament. How you
Yeah.
telling yourself you're healthy can make you even feel way better, you know. So
100.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen for what's to come, and I
Alhamdulillah.
feel like this was my test on the dunya, and Allah is trying to test my patience. And I feel
Yeah.
like as humans, when I feel better, I'm back to doing little bad things. I'm back to doing little shaitan things. And I'm like, okay, wow. Once I get that wake up call, like you're sick again, I'm back to praying more. So it's like, subhanAllah,
Right.
how the human works. It's like, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I tell myself, I feel like I'm having a double life with Allah sometimes, which is not good. And I don't like that feeling. But at the
Mm.
same time, I have to tell myself, I'm human. You know, there's
Mm.
some days, I can be way better than I am right now, which I still believe. I still have a lot of work to do. And I feel like that's why Allah's testing me with this illness to see what I can overcome with my iman being way more stronger. So Alhamdulillah.
Wallah,
So everything
alhamdulillah.
happens for a
No.
reason. I think cancer is just a blessing in a disguise for me. And yeah.
Well, you said I was gonna ask you about the mind over matter, but you already killed it. You know what I'm saying? So you get in the best
100%.
way possible. You know what I mean?
I'm
Mm,
just gonna finish it out, inshallah, guys. We're very
Mhm.
sorry. We would like to have more time with
Yeah.
Sagal, and inshallah, we will. I mean, we'll try to
mm,
get you back again in the show, inshallah. But I'm just gonna leave you guys with this hadith that the Prophet ﷺ said: "إذا أحب الله عبدا ابتلاه." If Allah loves a slave, He will make him go through tests, and who is the better to tell us than the Prophet ﷺ is? So it's very people have different type of tests, and this is attest for us to. And the point why we had Sagal on here is, for people to relate, to your experiences, and also, see themselves in those experiences, and
be able to speak about it and don't be shy
yes,
about it.
yes, exactly. And and thank you again, Jazakallah khair. Thank you again for taking your time, landing yesterday, and taking your time to
Much
come in here.
appreciated.
Yes, wallah.
Very much appreciated. We know you're going through a
Thank you
lot.
guys for having me too.
Yes.
Mass Productions. This is the first time I did a podcast. Probably not
All
gonna be
right.
my last time. You guys seem like some cool guys. Inshallah, everything works out
Yeah.
for you guys.
Jazakallah
Inshallah, this
khair,
podcast
wallah.
goes out. You know what I mean, and becomes
No,
one of the
it's-
best podcasts ever.
Thank you.
Inshallah.
Representing
Thank
for
you.
us. I don't know if you're representing
Definitely.
for Helsinki or Sweden, but let's just say both.
A bit of both.
Alhamdulillah,
We have the last 10 days of Ramadan also. I just wanted to mention that it's very important, guys. Make dua for all of us, but also especially and particularly for Sagal.
Yes.
And inshallah, we want to see you again, happy, laughing, and give your salams to everyone.
Stay
Okay.
positive and make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe. Canada, Sweden, okay? Finland, we need everybody to do this. Let's go.
Make sure you
Yes.
subscribe.
And all our UK guys also.
UK, everybody who listening, everybody. Let's go.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. Peace out.